Here's how music I created ended up getting placed on a Hulu show 7 times on just one of the episodes. I'm breaking down the full story, what I did right, what I messed up, and how you can follow the same path. Let's get into it. Show's called Vanderpump Villa. It was season 1, episode 7, and I landed 7 placements on this one episode, and I had other placements throughout other episodes of the show, almost every episode of the entire season, which was pretty cool. But I had some takeaways from this, and I've been seeing this a lot this year. I had some other placements on Basketball Wives, again, pretty much like every episode of that show. Recently did a placement breakdown inside of our Sync Producer Hub community, where we pretty much we did like an investigation to see, why this placement was so long. It was like a 6-minute placement. So we did like some investigation, some digging. We went to the session, all of that stuff. If you want to see that, just click the link for Sync Producer Hub. It'll be in the description, or in the comments. But we did that. We found out some very interesting facts about that placement, but also found out about the 7 placements on one episode. That's why I always laugh when producers are just like, oh, like Sync is overcrowded, there's just no room for anybody else. It's like, fam, I just got 7 placements on one episode of one show on one streaming platform. That was Hulu. This wasn't even cable, network TV, not Spotify, Netflix, Paramount Plus, and every other streaming service that's out there. This was just one streaming service, one show, one episode, 7 placements. So the thing I'm noticing is on the shows I see multiple placements, it's usually tracks that have been a part of a larger body of work. Not just, here's a track or two, see what you can do with it. No, these have been entire projects, albums produced for sync publishing companies. And I'm finding that I've been having more success producing albums for these companies versus just tossing up random tracks. And I think a lot of producers kind of have the misconception of, and I say it myself, like, hey, take the old music off of your computer, pitch it. Yes, like, do that. But if you can organize it in a way to turn it into a cohesive project, a themed album, I think you'll see a lot more success versus taking all the random tracks as is and then just throwing them at a publisher like, here, place it. Usually doesn't work out that great. It's mad foggy out here today. But if you can figure out a way to kind of create a themed album, or even approach the publisher and say, hey, I'm willing to do this type of album. I see you don't have a lot of it, or I see this is a need that you have. Let's put an album together of like, it can be 6, 7, 10 tracks, whatever. And I've seen other producers that have gone through, my mentorship, and they've seen results producing albums for publishers as well. And the 7 placements that was on this episode and this show were all from the same album that I produced for a publisher. Shout out to West One Music Group. So then I came across another all the Basketball Wives placements, and I'm noticing, oh shoot, these tracks are from that same album as well. So I'm noticing a common theme here, common denominator is just like, yo, the tracks that I see getting used a ton across a specific show have been a part of an album. So, that may just be the approach I take more moving forward versus just thinking like in an individualistic way in regards to tracks and what I'm gonna, submit. Another cool thing about putting albums together is, depending on the company and the company's budget, a lot of times most times I get a little bit of upfront money as well, just to put that album together and put it out. So before that album is even getting synced, I've already made some money just putting the music together and sending that to the publisher, and then I'll make a couple grand or more just from doing that, just depending on what the budget is, or depending on what the budget is and how many tracks we do. That can easily turn into $2,000-$3,000 before the music is even gotten into the hands of the clients, which is great. And now that it starts to get placed, now I'm going to see royalties forever. You know what I mean? It'll be in perpetuity. So as long as the stuff just keeps airing and re-airing, now I'm going to get royalties and passive income from those tracks for the rest of their life, because it'll most likely go beyond even my life. Stuff is still on TV and still earning royalties. So this is something that I can pass down to my kids, the next generation, so on and so forth. So yeah, I thought that was interesting, and I've been seeing that a lot, just like these albums just really picking up traction, and I think it's a great opportunity to land multiple placements with just taking one good swing at a larger project, you know what I mean? Versus trying to, and I think it's all about diversity as well. Just kind of, you're going to have your single one shot kind of opportunities, right? Where it's just like, boom, you're going to submit a track here for an ad. You're going to do this here and there. But then mixing in and diversifying the type of projects, right? So you may do some of the little one-offs, one-shots here and there, but then you'll also work on larger bodies of work for publishers to just increase your chances overall. And then things will kind of balance out. You'll start to win some of those larger one track submission kind of opportunities, and then you'll also have some of these longer projects that you can work on. And what I've done, like anytime I see something that's working, I'll do more of it, right? So this year I've been seeing that these albums have been working. So what I did was just like, I'm gonna reach out to all of the publishers that I did these albums for, that I seen placements from, and pretty much re-up, like, hey, the first album, because now it's just like, not that I necessarily needed leverage, or not that you necessarily need leverage to get the first album, but when you have the first album be successful and get multiple placements, it's going to be a breeze reaching out to them saying, hey, you want to work on another one? Like, of course they're going to want to work on another one. Like, everybody's getting placements, everybody's eating off of the original collaboration. So it's going to be super easy for me to reach out now and say, hey, like, let's get another album going. So that's what I'm doing now, especially as we're kind of approaching this time of year. It's a good time to start getting things lined up, and getting that work ready to go. So I'm excited. Hopefully this was insightful. I know it was insightful for me, man, just to kind of go through cue sheets and things like that, see what's been working, and seeing a lot of the same track titles coming from larger projects that I did. So that's gonna be something I'm gonna focus on, and yeah, I'm excited about that. So yeah, if you want to learn how to start getting your music placed in TV and film, I'll shoot you a free guide. It's my Sync Producer Quick Start Guide. It's going to show you those steps on how to get started. So just hit the link in the description for that, or you can check out the pinned comment as well. Grab that and get this information, man, because like I said, you definitely don't want your music sitting on a computer doing nothing. So figure out how you can make that music work for you. Now that you've seen how those placements happened, let's talk about how to actually prepare your tracks for sync the right way. That's what we'll dive into in the next video.